Hey guys, it's Maxi. I'm a Radiant player and coach, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the thought process on how to pop off in ranked on Deadlock.
Don't tell me you don't know that. I wanna see it. You better watch your girlfriend. Be with you, change that. Man, I'm about my paper. If your bitch really about it, nigga, I'm gonna take her. Backseat of my Jeep.
So the game that we're going to be breaking down today is a game on Split where I had a tracker score of 997 and I went 20-9 on Deadlock. I think Deadlock is an extremely strong agent when it comes to Split. If you start on defense, you can pretty much consider yourself already having a W. As I've said in previous videos, I'm a sucker for utility. I place a trip for ramp because people love dashing or double satcheling with an omen blind, so I want to set that to counter for it. As the round starts, I keep my wall in hand and pay attention to any sort of audio cue. The second I hear a flash and a smoke, I toss my wall A main, stop the push while I ready myself to fight off my sensor.
Vents.
After I get the pick on the jet, the enemy team is most likely already realized that the Omen and I were towards A, so the smartest play for them is to go by the numbers. Cypher's the only guy that they gotta worry about that's towards B, so that's just one dude. I try to quickly react on what I assume is going to be their next play, but unfortunately my Omen gets lurked on, so with that, since they probably heard me leave, they have a free A site. So now I'm in the big flank of Destiny in hopes of catching them with their pants down. Unfortunately, I get destroyed and the Omen plays a 1v1 to absolute perfection and we lose the round. So going into the next round, since we're really broke, I head towards middle with a sheriff. In my head, the only goal that I have is to maybe go for a shot and then place my wall to help me with my getaway.
Okay.
After taking out the Cypher, since I realize that it's a Cypher, at this ELO, he's probably a lurker. So I run up and get the gun with the intention of handing it off to a higher health teammate. But here I make an absolutely huge mistake after review and I go for a shot with 1 HP instead of just simply walling them off ropes after I heard them. Since I die, I couldn't hand the gun off and the round turns into a quick 4v4 after my first blood was instantly unraveled. Somehow we still end up winning the round off the heroics of my boy Levi and our jet.
Nice.
So that was a completely backbreaking anti-eco for them. So now, since we broke their economy, this round they're going to be broke. I can only afford one trip and that's going to go towards ramp in case they try to get cheeky again with a ramp push with an omen flash or something. While I'm going to toss my wall deep towards A main because since they got a broken buy, they got pistols and stuff, so if they're rushing, they're going to be completely stalled trying to break my big ass wall.
Multiple enemies mid.
So just like you heard Jet call out in-game, there's a lot of activity going towards mid, so that's where I rotate to try to help. Since my Deadlock wall is on A, I can trust that my Omen can hold it down on his own.
Yeah, he was alone. I had him like 80.
Turns out he gets absolutely mollywopped, so I rotate back to try to get some control of A ramp. Map control is incredibly important. With how my wall is, they can't really cross, so since it's space that's up for grabs, I'm more than happy to take it.
I think the
Turns out my teammates hold it down, and the enemy team rotated back towards A. So I'm forced to rotate back towards A, but by the time I show up, they already handled business.
One enemy remaining.
Nothing crazy going on this round, I'm just making sure the sky doesn't have any room to breathe, while at the same time making sure I can collapse on site with my team. The next round, even though we win, is a pretty uneventful one. I know, spoiler alert, but it really just starts off with me placing a trip right here, while I head towards ramp and try to sneak in this little corner and play anti-flash in hopes that they try to rush ramp again. The only activity that we hear around the map is towards B, so I rotate and try to help. By the time I show up, my team already deflected push and hold it down. So since I still have my wall in my pocket, I toss it towards middle. I want to be able to stop any sort of lurk or any sort of re-aggression. I just want to shut down an entire area of the map. This wall ended up funneling the team towards A, and my team ended up closing it out because they had 3 guys there.
Spike down A.
Okay, let's go.
So after I make the rounds and giving my teammates a nice smack on the rear, I place my same trip towards A because since they haven't seen it yet, there's no reason for me to switch it up. I toss another one towards ramp in case they want to rush it, or if they end up hitting it late, I can peek off of it. And something that you always have to pay attention to is their economy. And the enemy team in this round are muy pobre. They're really broke. Since they're gonna have really bad guns, I'm gonna be tossing that deep wall towards A main again.
Nothing B main.
smoke vent.
The second I hear that smoke vent call out, I rotate to try to help my mid players. It's the same deal as before, since I have A main cut off, I can trust that my Omen can hold it down. You want to be reactive and be able to reinforce all parts of the map really well.
Could have gone for that.
I end up whiffing because I'm a fat, stupid, stinky piss baby, but it doesn't matter because my teammates end up cleaning out the round. Going into the next round, I'm starting off with the same pieces of utility as before. This is pretty much a card that hasn't been shown yet, and until they see it, there's no reason for me to switch it up yet.
No charges.
Nice.
I missed my shot. There's 2 more A.
Nothing there.
Ramp. Wait, I'm in like it. I'm staying B for now. I'll
I've
take
got
it.
your trail. No strike. Throwing net.
There's 2 more ramp for sure.
Sensor
They're
trip.
coming out.
Leaving B.
Coming out main now.
No problem.
Good riddance.
Nice.
We're both main.
One enemy remaining.
He's coming out
The
too.
round ends up boiling down into a 1v1 that my Cypher absolutely clutches up on. Let's go back to breaking down the round though. In this round, you can see that I'm not tossing my wall deep towards A main this time. That's because they're finally on a full buy. If they're in a 5-man rush, that's 5 rifles that can mow it down, in contrast to 5 pistols. I want to get the absolute most value out of my wall. If I toss it in the choke versus A main, to break it, they're going to have to be a little bit more exposed to angles that we can peek them from, versus the comfort of their own spawn. On top of that, if I toss it where the smoke's going to be, it can shroud it and cause all sorts of hesitation and fun stuff. With my wall, they end up funneling and fighting towards ramp. And since we're down at a 4v5, since my teammate got killed by a lurker, I needed to play a little bit more aggressive in hopes of turning the round around. I hold the smoke really aggressively and punish somebody trying to push through. After getting that pick, I instantly fall back and toss the gravity nade towards ramp to stop them from flooding in case they want to trade me. It not only completely slows down the push, but when they're taking off the beacon, it makes noise, giving me information also. After that, I'm just staying alive and I counter spam somebody because I can see their bullet tracers in a really big phantom W moment. After that, I whiff because, well, you know the deal. The very next round, since I still have yet to make it towards A site, I toss this trip there yet again, while I plan to lean towards A ramp to do my cheeky little play that I like doing. Turns out there isn't anything there, but since my teammate dies towards mid, that's where I rotate to try to help.
Dash through.
Yeah, a lot mid. My
There's a
bad.
trip bar heaven.
Wouldn't be heaven.
Dogging again. They're burning
Heaven.
over the wire.
At least 1 more be heaven.
No escape.
Yeah.
1 more be heaven.
Spike down mid.
It's the map, Deadlock here.
Barrier
Right here.
deployed.
Coming cars.
Have all raised.
Unfortunately, that jet ended up barely sneaking past my wall and took me out, but not before making the round into a 3v2, setting up my team to close it out. Since my teammate just died in this round, I wanted to rotate mid to try to pick up the slack. You guys may be thinking that this guy probably just horribly whiffed, but you just gotta give some props to my movement. This guy had a sheriff and my side strafe were a little bit too fast for him to track. This is why movement is a very, very, very underrated skill. I usually always judge people on how good they are depending on their movement. There's so many people who have really good aim, but it doesn't really matter if you can't really move around the map as well as you want to. Going to the very next round, I'm right back towards A and I'm tossing the same exact trip because they have yet to see it. Usually, I'm a big supporter on switching up sides to keep the other teams guessing, but on the other side of the coin, there's a strength to be had on being a heavy anchor. If you're on a very strong hold it down sentinel like Cypher or Deadlock, a lot of teams will literally avoid you at all costs. So if I can single-handedly shut down A for the entire game, that allows us to allocate even more resources towards the other sides of the map, which makes our life a billion times easier.
Hostile down. No escape.
So my cheeky anti-flash play finally worked. I like tucking behind this box, just making sure they can't see my gun and just ratting out until they have a false sense of security and I get a free pick. After that, I toss my gravity nade towards the ramp area in case they're trying to follow him up, and I pop my ult, but I miss it.
He was water. Might be going back.
Blocking movement.
Oh no, he's back.
Flashing it. You gonna peek again?
A. Sound sensor up.
Holding your right.
This is a message to Levi. I'm gonna be a little bit critical because he's my friend. Levi, this flash was some hot ass. The flash itself wasn't bad, but how are you gonna tell me I'm flashing it 4 seconds after you flashed it already?
Flashing it. You gonna peek again?
You can't just flash on a whim and hope your teammates react and capitalize off your flash. You have to initiate. You have to get them aware and ready to pounce off the flash. Let them know beforehand and be like, hey, I'm about to flash A main, get ready to fight. You can't flash and be like, oh hey, I flashed by the way if you guys wanted to peek that or something. I'm on your ass, Levi, I'm on your ass. Sorry, that's my duo and he likes it when I yell at him, so I wanted to be a little bit critical for him just because I know he'd like it. He gets off on it. Unfortunately, we lose that round, but stuff happens, it's okay. So now that they've probably seen where my trips have been for the past couple of rounds, I'm keeping them in my pocket and being more reactive with them. And just like previous rounds when they have full buy rounds, I'm being really reactive with my wall also. The second I hear some activity towards A, I instantly wall off the choke point and then I prioritize playing off my teammates.
Listen.
One more ramps.
That's fine.
Sensor down. Kill confirmed. Throwing net. Reloading.
You went back in.
One enemy remaining.
Alright.
Probably has one more flash left.
Nice.
I'm telling you guys, movement played a huge part on me staying alive and holding it down this round. I noticed that my Jett was coming up on the ropes behind her, so I want to cause enough pressure to bait and to set up my Jett for the free pick. Turns out the Jett didn't really get the memo on the crossfire and low-key baits, but it doesn't matter because I take out the Reyna anyways. I do the same exact thing with the Sky that popped out of A main. All his attention is on me, and my Omen should have had the freest pick of his life, but just kidding, he probably had an awkward angle, so I really won't bully him in case if he did whiff. So since it got completely shut down towards the A side of the map, I rotate over to the other side of the map to try to get ahead of their counter strat. Yeah, I'll let you know.
I think I dinked Omen.
Movement.
Oh wait, turbo wall. Holy fuck.
Cypher
B
Cage
main.
will sit
Run
on
a B main.
B main.
One mid.
He got the gun.
No escape.
After getting my team the man advantage and trying to cook, I get absolutely destroyed by the enemy Jett. The round boils down into a 2v2 retake where my Raze absolutely cooks and makes up for his earlier Rosa ult.
Nice, guys. There's an op in heaven.
Going into the very next round, since the previous round I showed myself towards mid, I'm hoping that lures him into thinking like, oh hey, he's not at A anymore, let's try rushing it this round. Ranked is literally all about mind games and trying to one-up each other. And if you didn't notice, their economy's broken again, so I'm gonna be tossing the deep wall towards the A main choke. He doesn't want to come in, a lot of
Omen like smooth.
smoke across,
Beat them all.
broke my shit.
I'm holding him mid still.
Fighting ramp right now?
Yeah.
Let's go. Jump spotting. I'm gonna Roomba.
Get him.
10 seconds on
Throwing
that
net.
slow.
Enemy spotted A.
They pop, by the way.
Reyna's lit. So Cypher.
Get another smoke.
Yep,
Satchel out.
smoking.
Smoking will lurk out right.
Satchel out. Scratch one.
One enemy
One mid,
remaining.
mid.
Three down. Ultimate ready.
What?
Alright.
So for most of this round, I was playing really conservative, just waiting to try to play off my utility. That stops the second that I see that my Raze is fighting. My instincts refuse to let me watch a teammate fight alone. It's always going to be harder to have two people shooting at you than just one. The round just ends up snowballing and me kind of popping off, but still, you gotta always try to play and fight with your teammates whenever you can. Going into the very next round, I place a trip right here for my Omen just in case if you need some help. While I have full intentions on playing and fighting towards middle. They haven't had any luck towards A, so I'm hoping that they're probably going to give it up.
Sound sensor out.
Shot.
No surprise. Hold them to
Alright.
the ground. Reeling them in. I've got your
Main.
trail.
Hey,
One enemy remaining.
You are unmade.
I end up countering the middle push and we end up the half at a really strong, commanding 10-2 lead. Going into the attacking pistol round, since I'm such a sucker for utility, I go with classic armor, the gravitational nade, and one of the trippy thingies. Since we have a double sentinel comp, with Cypher being the other sentinel, I know I don't have to worry about flanks, so I just plan on entering with my teammates.
Cypher set up here in Jet City. He had a wire
alright,
somewhere
back
close
door,
range.
back
No
door.
escape. Satchel out.
Flashing back right.
Movement.
Elbow up.
Okay.
Nice.
Alright.
Sound sensor out.
Main.
One enemy remaining.
Main.
Main.
Spike planted.
After getting the spike down, nothing really special happens. My Omen just 1-digs the other guy and sends us off into the next round. Going into this round, I make sure I have all my utility. My teammates want to go towards A, so I'm going to do everything in my power to help them out. With Deadlock's utility, it's not very helpful when it comes to taking sight, but it is extremely impactful when it comes to isolating the site. With my nades and my wall, I can completely slow down the flood of rotators, meaning the guys on site aren't going to get any help from the outside world, pretty much setting up the unlucky campers who are on site to fight the Alamo. We end up winning this round as clean as could be. You want to try B now?
Sure, I'm down.
Going into the next round, I suggest my teammates to hit B because the very last round, I saw that the Cypher was on A. He's their Sentinel player and their best hold it down agent, so I'm really confident that we can take B very cleanly, especially after taking A 2 times in a row.
Blocking
There
you
you go.
here.
The city.
I'm holding.
Listen.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dog shit my clutch right now.
Sound sensor out. Over there.
I'm going for a late lure.
146, 1 HP. City.
Here I got way too cocky, trying to go for a cool aim clip, and we end up actually losing this round. I'm gonna start mid.
Do it. I'm just gonna dash ramp.
So going into this next round, I want to play it a lot slower. We still have a really big leeway when it comes to rounds that we can afford to lose, so I just want to figure out how they're playing. I want to take it slow and have them make the mistake first. Turns out my Jet is him and gets the first blood, causing all the rotations to head towards A. So that's the mistake that we needed. They end up heavily over-rotating and we have B site for free to set up for a bomb plant.
Spike planted. Sound sensor up.
I have flash still, so call it.
I have 2 sets of
Listen.
stuns for like
Over
this
there.
left side here.
1 health.
Enemy.
A 1 HP.
One enemy remaining.
Luckily for me, I ended up having to do absolutely nothing for the very last round. And just like that, that's how I ended up match MVPing with Deadlock and Radiant ELO. Thank you guys so much for watching.